What's going on, guys? Climax Creator here with a little something different. I am playing Black Ops 3 in the background, but I figured we could sit back down and tell you guys a story about a 5-year-old Climax Creator. So this is my entire kindergarten experience. I'm thinking about doing a whole little thing about my schooling and kind of what happened in the past that actually made me what I am today in my real life and in school in general. I'd just like to start off with a disclaimer. I am terrible at Call of Duty. Every single Call of Duty that has come out, I've played, and I've sucked at every single one of them. Just a little disclaimer. Okay, so everyone sit crisscross applesauce, and here's the story of Aaron in kindergarten. So my first day was pretty much like everybody else's first day at kindergarten. Your parents get you in the car, you wake up nice and early. I say early, it's freaking, you wake up at 8 a.m. and leave at 11. Ooh. But I cried because, well, I mean, everyone cries. It was the first time I get separated from my parents, actually to be with a stranger, within a new environment, with a whole bunch of people I don't know. So it was kind of weird, so I ended up crying. But there was this one kid on the first day of school, and I think I remember his name. His name was Alex. Not my brother Alex. Another Alex. Forget it. You probably didn't think it was my brother Alex anyway. It was, so he came up to me, and this kid was 5 years old. Mind you, he was 5, but he acted like he was 25. He, came up to me, grabbed me around my shoulder and was like, don't worry, buddy. We'll get inside. I'll sit next to you. We can be friends. We'll do this, that, and this. And I was like, okay, yeah. So I was still crying when I went inside. My teacher got me tissues. Everyone's staring at me because they're all like, oh, who's this kid? He's freaking crying? Oh, what a baby. So, but I ended up calming down eventually. I ended up liking it, so it was pretty good. But the first thing they make you do when you get into the kindergarten at the school I went to was they have you draw a picture just so that's pretty much what you do in kindergarten. Kindergarten is pretty much just a glorified preschool. They just sit there to babysit you. So what I did was she told us to draw a picture, anything that we wanted to draw, but she wanted to see a nice picture and have it know how we can draw lines and stuff like that. So everyone was drawing pictures of oh, this is my dog in my family. This is a drawing of animal, and this is the drawing of a plane. My drawing was neither of those. My drawing was a picture of a naked woman. Yeah, I had a very active imagination when I was 5, and I was introduced to some things before I'm pretty sure I was supposed to. I've seen the sex scenes on movies and blah 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 blah. So 5 years old, I ended up drawing in kindergarten, mind you. I ended up drawing a picture of a woman, a fully grown, naked, full nude frontal woman. Dude, my drawing skills were like Michelangelo's cousin. Absolutely awful. I don't know if Michelangelo's cousin was awful at drawing, but for comedy's sake, let's just say that. And so she had no clue what I drew, so she was just like, all right, whatever, I'll put A, perfect. So I ended up getting an A on a drawing of a naked lady in 5th grade. So that brings me into my teacher. She was alright. Her name was Miss Lupino. And the thing with this is that she was super nice. One of my favorite teachers ever. But she was just, I don't think she really liked me or my brother. I had her for 2 years in a row, and I think my brother had her for 1 year. So the thing about us, me and my brother, was that, like I said, I drew a picture of a naked lady, but I'm just going to go off topic for a second and just tell you what he did. In 1st grade, she had them write a story with all the letters in the alphabet that they knew. And my brother ended up drawing a story of a sniper, because he just got introduced to Call of Duty. He's 6 years old, just found out what Call of Duty was, and it was World at War that just came out. So that was probably arguably one of the most brutal Call of Duties ever. And he made a story of a sniper sitting in the field, and some guy came up to him and just stabbed him right in the back of the head. This is what he wrote on the piece of paper. So he gives it to the teacher. Miss Lupino's like, all right, yeah, but then she realizes what he wrote, and she sits there. She's like, oh no, this isn't good. What am I teaching these kids? So my brother ended up getting an F. He cried, and she was just like, well, write it again. So he did, and that was that. And that's pretty much Miss Lupino. She also kind of looked like a clown and blinked a lot. If you can just imagine someone blinking probably 1,000,000 times per second, that's pretty much what she did. So there was this one thing too at recess. We would go and we'd play on the kitchen playset, and I mean that was always fun. But the thing is, like, when you're in like a kitchen playset, something clicks in your brain, especially when you're 5, and you think like, maybe I should be playing house at this time. Maybe I should make this house. So me going around, because I played house all the time when I was a kid. I'd play with my cousins, my brother, I'd play with my mom and dad, blah, blah, blah. So I play with them all the time. So I go over there, I'm like, oh, well, why don't we play house? You guys want to play house? And they're like, all right, yeah, I like house. So we ended up doing that, but it was so awkward because it ended up like, all right, I'm the dad, you're the mom, you're my brother, you're my sister, you're the kids. And me not knowing how like kids were made at the time, looking back at it now, I'm kind of like, oh, that's weird. But I mean, I guess it is what it is. It's nothing crazy. That's all I got on that for the most part. I mean, kitchen playset. I mean, I just remember that from totally, like, if all the girls were at the kitchen playset, all the guys were afraid of cooties, so we'd all go and read a book or something. So, I mean, that's when I liked reading. That's when I really liked reading, and I would always read with my dad. But then again, I was just finding out how to read, so I guess it was kind of like a magic trick for me. In our kindergarten classroom, we had a bathroom in the classroom, but it was a separate bathroom. You know what I mean? It was the classroom, and then you'd go where your backpacks are, where you hang your hoodies, and you go to the bathroom. Well, one day I really had to shit, like really bad, and I didn't want to cry because now everyone thinks I'm a crybaby already from the first day of school. So what I do is I just like, oh, Miss Lupino, can I go to the bathroom? And she's like, okay. So I go to the bathroom, right? But eventually there's this other kid that needs to go to the bathroom too, even though there's only one stall. So he goes up to the bathroom and he's like knocks on the door, and I'm like, oh, someone's in here. But there's no doors like from the bathroom to the classroom, so everyone is hearing this conversation. So I'm like, oh, so I'm in here, and the kid's like, that's okay, take your time, blah, 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 blah. And then we just started talking about school. He's like, oh, well, how do you like the school? And I'm like, it's great. I like the school, because me being a little kid, I'm like, oh, I love school. I like reading. I like seeing my friends. This kid had the nerve. He gets on the ground and looks like under the stall, like under the door of the stall, and just looks at me. And he's like, oh, hi, my name's whatever, whatever. I didn't know you were in here. The kid crawls into the stall and like stands up and sits in the stall with me while waiting for me to just be finished with what I'm doing. Having a full-blown conversation while everyone in the kindergarten classroom is hearing me and this kid have a conversation. That was the most awkward, embarrassing thing in the world, because now me, after I'm done taking a shit, I walk out and just walk into these people and they're staring at me. And what ended up happening was Miss Lupino called me and this kid over and was like, were you guys in the bathroom together? And us being like scared out of our minds because, oh, she's going to call our parents, we're going to get in trouble for being in the bathroom together. We were like scared. We were like crying. We were like, yeah, we didn't know. Even though I knew, and I was really freaking embarrassed. That kid, I don't know. I don't remember him. I don't remember him very much, but I remember that story because that story scarred me for life. At recess too, we had a playground. It's not there anymore. Like I live close to my elementary school, so I walk by there. They turned it into a parking lot now, which is obviously what we need in the world now. More parking lots. But we had a really big wooden playground, and it was nice, but it was old. Like there was graffiti all over the place, carvings into the wood. Definitely not a place for kindergartners to play on, but I mean, we needed to make do with what we needed. That didn't make any sense. But we'd still go on there, being the 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds that we are. We'd go on there and we'd play. We'd play tag, hide and seek. The boys would run from the girls because, again, we think they'd have cooties, so we'd just run away. And I had one experience on the playground that was really bad. I ended up getting a splinter in my hand from like running on the rails, and everything's made out of wood and everything's all carved in, so now there's all splinters sticking out of it. So here I am grabbing the railing, and I just get a splinter right in my hand. This is my first splinter I've ever gotten, so I have no clue what to do. I just sit there and I just panic. I'm crying. I sit there. I'm like, oh my god, there's wood in my hand. Which, obviously now it's not a big deal. But back then, oof, no parents around, just Miss Lupino. I had to go the whole day with the splinter in my hand, then come home to have my mom trying to like pull the splinter out of my finger. But that hurt. Like as a kid, oh man, even today it still kind of hurts, especially when you have a splinter and you're just pulling it out of your hand. It still kind of hurts a little bit. But oh man, I cried like a baby, dude. It was bad. And we had this carpet too that we'd all sit around. We would play the rhyming game. I played that in first grade too, and we sat there. What it was is Miss Lupino would have a ball, and she would say a word. She'd say tall, and she would roll the ball to one of us, and one of us would have to come up with a rhyme for tall. So me, if she said tall, I'd just be like ball, and I'd roll it back to her. So we did this on a carpet, and on the carpet it was like a little sidewalk with a whole bunch of kids, like yay, and it had a whole bunch of like I want to say, oh, grammar Nazis are gonna get me. I want to say it's an adverb, like it was the word as in as, you know what I mean? So me being the 5-year-old I am and like hearing swears around the house because my parents, not arguing, but just because adults swear. I swear nowadays. You can hear me in the videos. And so I thought it said ass. So I was like, oh my god, they have ass written down on the carpet in the kindergarten classroom. So I go to my parents, I'm like, Mom, Dad, they have a bad word on the rug. It's a bad word. My parents are like, what's the word? What do you mean there's a bad word? So I'm like, I can't say it. They're like, just say it. What are you talking about? So I said, Mom, they have ass written on the carpet. So she was like, do they? And she's like, I'm like, yeah, they do. It's crazy how they would do that. So she goes, spell it out for me. So she gives me a piece of paper, and I wrote A-S. And I swear to God, like, at the moment, like, I didn't realize it at the moment, but now being older and telling the story, I'm like, she probably thought I was a dumbass. She's like, honey, that's as, that's not ass. And I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't really know what that meant. I was just like, okay, that's what that is then. I guess it's not ass, so there's nothing to worry about. But in kindergarten, I had a couple friends too. Like I said, I mentioned that kid Alex. He was a nice kid. I had this buddy Brendan, which I'm still good friends. What good friends, but we're still friends today. I'm trying to think. There's a whole bunch of other people that I was in kindergarten with that I'm still friends with today. But there was one in particular. There was this one kid, Zach, right? And his name, I don't really want to say his last name, but I would say, I came up with this rhyme. Let's say his last name was Fickering, all right? Zachary Fickering. So I would say, oh, Zachary Fickery, hickering, dickering. And this one girl heard me say dickering. So she came up to me and was like, do you know that's a bad word? And I was like, no, I don't know that's a bad word. So she kind of was just like, oh, he said dick and all this. And needless to say, I ended up getting in trouble for it, and I never said that again to him. But that's pretty much the basics of my kindergarten experience, just like any normal kid. I freaking had friends, but naked ladies and splinters and asses as, I mean, you have to be special, but I mean, that's all I got for that one, guys. But anyway, guys, like the video if you enjoyed. It really helps me out. Subscribe to become a part of the climax. I'd really like to do a lot more of this stuff for you guys, but I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.